This an all-out blitz. Real hard hits, them other podcast trash, we gon' make them all quit. We cover all the topics with intelligence and logic. I know you wanna score, but ID gon' stop it. We from Texas, so that mean that we Texans. Breaking down the X's and O's, our profession. No complaining, just training, you see the progression. They had a Pro Bowl for talk shows, we get selected. We gon' celebrate every win like a birthday. Ray J with the news, first with all the updates. Spin move on the competition, yeah, we juking them. You not really in touch if you not tuning in. This is Crenshaw, Briggs, and VT. We want the touchdown, we not trying to go for 3. And it's best if you get up out the street, cause them bulls out the pen and they bout to stampede.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Texans Fan Battle Podcast. I'm one of your hosts tonight, Matthew Briggs, and usually we have the amazing trio, but today is the dynamic duo. Our A1 Day 1, Crenshaw, is over there in Africa enjoying his Thanksgiving vacation. We love for him to be here, but hey, do your thing, man. I hope you're having fun and don't get eaten by eating camels. So, with me, as always, if you're on Reddit, you know this guy is angry typing about the Texans. And if you're on Twitter, you hear him going with these knucklehead Texans fans. You got Mr. Brown Chubby Bear himself, BT. Say what's up to the folks.
What's going on, guys?
Man, what a crazy day for the Texans. But before we get into that, kind of let's talk about something else. Did you watch Monday Night Football by any chance?
I did.
Did you see the whole Steve Young and I can't think of his name now. Booger McFarland.
Oh, yeah. You see, like RG3's look on his face.
Oh,
too?
yeah, he's like,
I'm not talking about this at all.
Yeah. So let me get your thoughts on it, BT. Speak to me. What do you think about it? Do you think Young was out of line? Do you think McFarland was out of line? Or do you think both had a point?
You know, when you have a conversation about this dude or that dude, how they were brought up and whether someone was well off and stuff like that, you're going to have conversations that don't go your way because, you know, everyone has their own sort of adversity. Just because you weren't held back because of financial reasons or whatever it is. Everyone deals with adversity. Trying to say that that's the reason why you're not balling out is honestly just over the top. It wasn't necessary, in my opinion, and it went too far.
Yeah. I kind of agree on Steve Young. I don't think that's the reason why he's not a leader. Sometimes you're just not built for it. I mean, you can't cut it, and just because he grew up with money doesn't mean he was not a leader.
Right.
So I mean, look, Trevor Lawrence, he's somewhat a leader and he's growing up with money. So I mean, it's just, that whole stereotype is, every stereotype is wrong. I mean, there's some right and there's some wrong, and sometimes it's weird. But speaking of Zach Wilson, he is benched this Sunday.
Yes.
Thoughts about that?
So I think it was interesting in the comparison, the way that the Texans did it and the Jets did it. Robert Saleh was pretty much on point and said it like it is. They're benching him. He's not performing as he wanted to perform. Zach Wilson wanted to play. He expressed that during the press conference, and that was it. I think that the difference between the Jets is that they had the balls to come out and say that our first-round quarterback is not going to start because we're not happy with this performance. Now, he's a first-round quarterback, and they had the balls to do that. Why didn't we?
Yeah. Well, don't spoil too much. But if you are watching, I forgot to mention this before while we opened up. We were supposed to have the great Amobi Okoye with us, but if you've been in Houston, traffic ain't the best. So he got stuck and couldn't be with us. So make sure you tune in next week to hear his rant, because he was pretty pissed off he couldn't come on because he has a lot to say. But so let's get into it. Texans today I don't know who. I mean, I don't know what to believe. People say that we are benching Davis Mills for Kyle Allen. Some say we're not. BT, speak to me. What is your thoughts on this?
So at first, I didn't think it actually was true because literally less than a minute before it came out that we were benching Davis Mills, Pep Hamilton was asked if there's going to be a change at the quarterback position, and he said no. He was asked a second time, and he said, I just answered that there will be no change at that position. Literally 30 seconds, maybe a minute later, I'm seeing tweets saying that from both Aaron Wilson and a bunch of other insiders are saying that Davis Mills is being benched and that Kyle Allen is now being switched to having first round reps. When I saw videos this morning of Davis Mills taking first round reps at practice earlier. So that was weird. And the whole thing is Nick Caserio spoke on 610 in the morning. Then you had Lovie Smith that spoke to the press. Then you had Pep Hamilton speak to the press. Davis Mills was supposed to speak because he speaks every Wednesday. And they said that we are going to have the quarterback conversation done on Friday as opposed to Wednesday. So all of a sudden, you're seeing all these clues. Drew Doherty, who we're going to have on our podcast soon, did a Q&A in his Ask Drew segment. And he said that there is no official confirmation, but he believes that Kyle Allen will be starting on Sunday. So all signs point to that the Texans just didn't have enough balls to have Nick, Pep, and Lovie say it and didn't want to address it. I have my own beliefs why, but I'll stop ranting and let you say your opinion for a moment.
Well, before we do that, Josh Senior from the Colts Fan Battle podcast, you don't know Jack. He said it sounds like Frank Wright probably meaning about the whole Matt Ryan and Sam Elger situation. So he feels our pain there. Yeah, I mean, like as a Texans fan, are we supposed to be upset? I mean, it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. We're not going to win. Let's just put the cards on. Let's call a spade a spade. We are tanking. If we're going to say it out loud or not, but we are. We're going for the number one pick. To me, it just seems like you're going to hate me saying this, B, but it seems like we're going to go for a quarterback with the first pick of the draft.
Well,
go ahead.
If you don't want to say, then I'll just rant for a moment here and say that I am pissed. And I'll tell you why. It's not about benching Davis Mills. You want to bench Davis Mills, go ahead and do it. If you're going to do it, frankly, you should have done it a couple games ago. But the point here is how it's being done, right? And something I've said prior to the season even started, it is more about process than results right now because we all know that we weren't going to win many games. But you want to have your GM looking like he's strong, that he's confident, he's not afraid to say the truth. You want to have your head coach do that and your OC do that. When they all have immediate availability and avoid to tell all the press what's actually happening and leave it up to a leak, that tells me that they didn't want to bench Davis Mills. What it tells me is that my fear of what I've had earlier is that Cal is getting more and more involved, and he heard the boos that happened during the Washington game. He heard the Kyle Allen chants that were happening during the Washington game, and is now appeasing to the fan base and saying, that's what the fans want. Give them what fans want. Let's see if that'll put some asses back in the seats. And I think that what I'm kind of worried is if we're going to have a Jerry Jones light situation going on here as Cal gets more and more involved of not just grilling burgers, not just doing jersey exchanges, not just doing Reddit AMAs, but making decisions that affect the product on the field, affect our draft choices, and affect our future. That is actually my number one worry because I actually still believe in Nick. We could talk about some of the things that he's done wrong, and that's the conversation.
Well, not to cut you off, but I mean, you kind of have to have trust in Nick because he hasn't steered us in the wrong way. You have to trust him until he gets a quarterback, like an actual quarterback. Like Davis Mills was his quarterback, his first pick of the draft, but this is the number one spot either this year or next year. This is the shut up or you're gone pick. So I agree with you on Nick, you gotta trust Nick until at least next year's draft.
Well, I mean, like I said, I do, but I'll just give the devil's advocate quick version of why some people don't. And they have
I agree. Yeah, go ahead.
But all right, so we have $75 million in dead cap. $25 million is because of Nick Caserio. It's not all on BOB. So that's 25 million of that is on Nick. He brought back dudes like Justin Britt, Vera Brown, Eric Murray. So he brought back a lot of retreads that didn't look good last year. Scott Quisenberry didn't look good at the Chargers, and he brought him, and he's terrible now. He did not solidify that center position, even though he knew that Pep Hamilton was going to switch protection calls back to the center and take away from Davis Mills. So, I mean, there's plenty of things that you can actually blame Nick for. The Cooks trade, not trading Cooks and having another locker room cancer in the locker room, and us seeing how bad that locker room actually is right now. Yeah, there's definitely things you can blame Nick Caserio on. He's not infallible. He's made mistakes. He's done more good than bad. And so I do think the chance of trying to get rid of Nick Caserio are overblown. I think it's just simple frustration of having a team, have a losing season, 3 years in a row. It's not fun. So I understand it, but it's not logical. It's emotional. And that's the problem.
Yeah. So we got a couple of comments. They suck. It's not taking. They are who we thought they were. And also, you probably look better with Kyle Allen. But you can't trust the coaches. I will say this about you. Y'all probably look better than Kyle Allen. Nobody's gonna look good with Pep Hamilton out there. We'll get more into that when we discuss the Commanders game. But I'm sorry, but I don't think Tom Brady can go out there and he'll probably be looking like Davis Mills.
Exactly.
I mean, it's time for him to go. But before we go to the game, any more rant and raves?
Yes. All right. Let me just rant a little bit about Kyle Allen here. And I'm not trying to shit on our new starting quarterback. But I just want to, because a lot of people are saying, hey, we have a chance or we'll look better with Kyle Allen. For those that don't know, let's just have a 2-minute trip down memory lane about Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen was an Aggie, so I can understand why some Texans fans may want to see him play. So, he's an Aggie. But let's see what happened. So he played a good 4 or 5 games, and then he had 2 really shit games. He had a game where he had 3 pick sixes with less than 50% completion rate, right? So now, of course, that's one game. But what happened the next game after that? So the game, that was after Alabama. Then he played Ole Miss. And then when he played Ole Miss, what happened? He had I think it was under 40%. And so he was benched for Kyle Murray. And so then he left being an Aggie, and then he went to U of H. Then, the whole transfer protocol stuff, he waited. Then he played a couple games there. And then he got benched for a rookie. Then he says, all right, I'm going to declare for the draft. He gets drafted by the Panthers. And he actually really did like being there. He said he learned a lot from Cam Newton or whatever. But then he gets let go, goes to Washington, plays a total of 6 games in Washington, doesn't do very much. He got benched again in Carolina, and Washington let him let go, and now we have
PJ Walker.
Yes, and the whole point is that his entire history, besides Kyle Murray, is that he's been getting benched for mid quarterbacks his entire career since college. So why people think that we will automatically look better with Kyle Allen, I honestly don't know. I understand Davis Mills was not looking great, not looking good, shall I say. But people have to realize that's a lot of it is because of the interior O-line. And Kyle Allen, although he is more mobile, he's not super mobile. It's not like he can avoid all that pressure, So I don't think that Kyle Allen's going to be much better. I think what's going to happen, honestly, is that people are going to see Kyle Allen out there. He's going to look like crap. And the conversation is going to be Lovie's, without saying so many words, just, I told you so. That's what it seems like this week is all about.
And before we go into the game, Great description of the Texans. Dumpster fire. Couldn't agree with you more. All right, BT. We played the Commanders at home. We to me, I feel like this was our first official blowout.
Yeah.
23-10. I'll let you go start it off. What's the thoughts?
Well, the first thing is, I think we all thought, or at least most of us did, that we would at least see Pierce have his yards on the ground. Davis Mills was the rushing leader of the Texans. Yes, Davis Mills had 10 yards on the ground. Pierce, I think he had 8 total. We could not get the run game going. They stopped him plenty of times. The O-line was legit terrible yet again for the 4th or 5th week in a row. Without the run game, Davis Mills was lost. He couldn't do anything, could not really get anything off the ground. He did have a rushing TD, but the stuff in garbage time is it's garbage time. This was probably, a lot of people said, it's not just me, but this is probably the rock bottom. We looked probably the worst that we have the whole season, even during the Titans game, which up until this point I thought was a worse game. We at least looked like we were trying. We didn't even look like we were trying out there. And let me tell you, one of the things that pissed me off the most was when Pierce was body slammed by the Commanders rookie.
Nobody did nothing. They just stood around and watched it.
Listen, They said that Titus Howard got up in their face. The announcer said that. They didn't really show it, but they said Titus Howard did get up in their face. But that's not enough. I mean, protect your star running back. And when you combine that with seeing how many times Mills has been sacked and no one is picking him up, it's like, well, where's this locker room? Where is the camaraderie? Like, you're not helping your quarterback. You're not helping your running back. It seems like the locker room is gone. And I think at this point, now that they have made a QB change, I think the locker room is going to get even worse. And I think you have Cooks there just counting the days till he can get either released or traded or whatever it is. And so you have another issue with Cooks. So I just don't think we're in as great of a situation as I probably thought we were a couple of weeks ago. Now we have I think Cal's getting involved. The locker room is falling apart. We have a GM, a head coach, and an OC that don't have the balls to actually say what's going on to reporters, to the point where it's not confirmed by any single Texan source that we are now hearing this third party when we had 3 people talk to the press today. That's sad to me.
Oh, yeah, I agree with 110% of what you're saying. My take of the game is predicting. That's all Pep Hamilton is everybody knows what he's doing. It's either a curl route or hand the ball up the middle with Pierce. I don't get it. That pick six, yes, it was a horrible throw, but the whole stadium knew where he was throwing it.
Yeah,
because it knew it was a curl route. Yes, it was on Mills, 110%. Mills looked like hot garbage, but man, that play call looked even worse. He is either run up the middle or curls, or when we're down 3rd and 18, let's do a wide receiver screen and get 2 yards. Like, come on. And I maybe it's just me, but I see it at the second half as a whole different play call. They we're down by 20 points, so let's let Mills throw the ball. Right. Why aren't we doing that to begin with? Just sling it.
Yeah.
And also, like, yeah, Pierce was getting stuff, and I don't understand why how many carries he had? He had, like, I want to say 13.
It was under 15. I know that for sure, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Keep in the first half. You're already down 13-0, like 13-3 or whatever it was. Keep running the ball. I don't understand why you're not giving your best player the ball.
Right.
And what I also noticed in the second half was the play act. Well, not even the second half. The last couple of games, every time we use the play action,
yes,
Mills looks good with the play action.
He does.
He connects big time passes. So why aren't we utilizing that more? I'm frustrated. I knew we weren't going to be a playoff team. I thought maybe 5 to 6 wins. But this right here, this is this man. Sometimes I wish I was blind so I didn't have to see this garbage. Like, dude, I mean, I want to cheer for this team. I want to keep doing what me and you're doing, but this team makes it hard. Like, especially like every other game we've been in, hard nosed battle. This looks like you said, they just gave up. I mean, they flip your star running back upside down, slam him on the ground, and you just get up and walk away. Like, come on, man. Like, if somebody did that, me and you went out to the bar and somebody did that to UVT, we fighting. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm doing Andre Johnson. I'm throwing him to the ground, and I'm throwing haymakers to the face. Like, come on, bro. I mean, and I agree. Like, I don't know if I said this between y'all with us on here, but I've said it with some friends. I want Pep Hamilton gone, but I don't think it's going to happen if Lovie's here. I think it's a combo package. If Lovie stays, Pep stays. The only way we are going to get rid of Pep is we're going to get rid of Lovie. And here's another reason why I kind of want to get rid of Lovie, which I don't think we're going to because of the publicity. It's going to be a PR nightmare.
I agree.
Which it somewhat should, but he lost the locker room, bro. Let's be honest. Let's be 100.
Yeah,
he lost the locker room. I mean, I don't know. Did you see what Larry Tussle said on Sunday?
What did you say?
He some to the lines that this game wasn't on Davis Mills, it was on the game planning.
No.
So right there, this tells you that even your star left tackle don't believe in your offensive coordinator.
Right.
Like, it's time to move on. Maybe they say, "Hey, Lovie, we can't fire you because it'll be World War III here in Houston. But what if you retire and we gave you a nice little, check under the table? It'd be great." I just want Pep gone, man. I do, and everybody wants Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Hendon. Well, probably not Hendon Hooker because he probably won't be playing next year, anyways. Will Levis, like, I don't want no rookie quarterback. Do not give me a rookie quarterback next year. If Pep Hamilton's here, because of that reason right there, Pep will stunt his growth. Look what he did to Davis Mills. Yeah, Davis Mills wasn't a Pro Bowl or anything, but dude, the regression is real.
Yeah,
like a lot of it is on Davis Mills, but a lot of it is on Pep Hamilton. And you want to bring in a rookie for that? Like, come on. That's the only reason why I don't want to draft a rookie with the first pick in the draft. Now, say you let you let go of the whole staff, coaching staff, and you bring in a strong-minded offense coordinator, not somebody like Pep Hamilton, who has a wishy-washy resume. Yeah, go ahead, go get your quarterback of the future. But if you bring back Pep Hamilton, you better be getting weapons, defensive tackles, linebackers, everything but a quarterback. So in 2024, when you say, okay, it is Pep Hamilton, it's time to let him go. Let's go get Kevin Williams. Let's get an offense coordinator, and let's make our run. That's the only way I see it happening. I just don't. Maybe I'm blind. Maybe I'm dumb. I don't know, but that's just my opinion. So,
no, I mean, I agree with you that I believe it is Pep's fault. And I also agree with you that I think both Lovie and Pep are going to stay here. I think that what you said about the whole PR nightmare with letting Lovie go is reality. There's a reason why Cal made him the coach and not Josh McCown. And it was that he was not going to hire an inexperienced white head coach when we just fired a black coach.
And that goes back to your what you were saying about Cal is kind of having, putting some strings into the organization because, like just like you said, Josh McCown, Aaron Wilson said on here, person, Josh McCown was going to be the head coach this year.
Right.
But Lovie said no. Or not Lovie, Cal said no. So you might be onto something. You might need to be giving me that lotto number so that way I can hit it big, you know?
I mean, I got to tell you, right now I'm seeing the teams of Cal being more involved. And it's obviously something I don't want because I got trust in Nick. I don't got trust in Cal. He was hands off, since basically 2019, since prior to that, but really since 2019, all of a sudden he wants to jump in, and it's not the right time because sometimes fans, many times fans don't know what they want. You need someone with a head on their shoulders to make decisions.
Well, yes, absolutely. But here, I'm play. You play devil's advocate just a while ago. Let me play devil's advocate too. I can see why he's doing it though. Deshaun Watson put a big gray cloud over the Houston Texans. Yeah. PR wise, cap wise, future wise, everything. So he has to say, man, we deny Brian Flores, he's suing us, and we're about to hire a white head coach who has no experience at all. Not even barely in high school. What's that going to look? And we just had a rapist here. I mean, like, what is that going to make their franchise look like? So I get why he said that. But I do agree with you where it is a little bit concerning that he's putting too much in there. Like, Nick has been hitting. He's been hitting on the draft. So you got to let him continue. Like, my opinion, I want more. I can't say his name because it's weird and Italian. But I want that guy from Oregon State. I want him starting tight end. Yes. I want him in tight end. Like that dude, the ball was thrown to him badly. But the dude, it gets separation, something we haven't seen this whole season. So why is he not, especially in the red zone?
Yeah.
Why are we not seeing that big body dude in the red zone?
Well, we did see that first play, right, of the Eagles game. It was the first time that we scored on the drive with him.
I was talking about Sunday, but yeah, I mean, like, come on, quick. Okay, Jordan Akins, yes, he has made a comeback. I'm proud of that. O.J. Howard disappeared.
Yep.
Reverend Jordan can't stay on the field. Like, it's time to take a losses, and it's time to do something. Because whatever you're doing right now is not working. And I really don't care if it does work or not. But you're going to have the number one pick regardless. So why not change it up? Why not see who you have and what you have in everybody? Start playing Thomas Booker more. Start playing that LSU tackle. Put him at center. Put him at guard. Put him anywhere. To see what you got in these guys. Yeah. So that way, all right, it's time to evaluate what we got in the draft. What do we need? Can we, Thomas Booker, we can help. We can do with him for a couple of years. Get rid of Lopez. Come on, man. It's time to start moving your pawns and go for the checkmate instead of sitting there saying, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
I mean, you bring up Booker, and that's a great point. When he got drafted, I was excited because the dude is ginormous, pause. But, I mean, the dude's caps are bigger than my damn head.
6'2", 285, I think, something like that.
Yeah, he's definitely close to 300, if not 300, honestly. But I think he actually be much closer to 300. You look it up while I'm babbling away here. But, I mean, I saw his interview with him and Brett Coleman. I don't know if you saw that. And after I saw that, I was like, all right, this guy has the measurables. This guy has the IQ to play the part. Why is he not on the field more?
Right. I mean, a lot better than Roy Lopez. Like, Roy Lopez, I don't understand why we're not putting him on the end. Like, Roy Lopez can get to the QB. So put him at the end.
Yeah.
And Booker is 6'4", 302 pounds. Like, that's somebody we need at the nose position. We need a big body to stop the fucking run. Like, I am tired. We are in the passing era of football. The Texans are making the run look very, very sexy right now. Like, why? I mean, and that's one reason why I'm tired of Lovie. Like, fix it. That's what your job is. Yeah, you don't have the personnel, but switch it up. What you're doing now is not working. So what's going to hurt by switching it up? Mom, sorry, I didn't mean to rant. Go ahead.
No, you didn't actually. I mean, but what I'll say is this is what Lovie said at the press conference. So you want change for change's sake. So he was very adamant about saying that. I actually agree with you. I'd rather see some change for change's sake. I'm not necessarily saying everywhere, but definitely D-line, especially we're on track to go 3,000 yards this year on the ground. 3,000 yards. Do people understand how freaking insane that is?
Disgusting. That's what it is. I mean, as a football fan, you should not be happy about that at all.
No. I mean, whether you're a Houston Texans fan or not, you should not want a professional football team giving up 3,000 yards on the ground. Something I said on Sunday is it was hard for me to believe that I was watching an actual NFL team on Sunday. Like, that's how bad. And I hate the fact that I'm being so pessimistic right now because, at least on Reddit, people always call me the optimistic one. I was a guy that said we were going to win 6 games this year. I was a guy that said that Davis Mills could be that guy for us if we put some weapons around him. So, I am the optimistic guy. I'm not the dude that just sits and shits on the Texans all the time. But right now, it's very difficult to find something positive because we knew we weren't going to win a lot of games. But now we're having the front office not show their strength as a unit, not have any accountability for their decisions, having to wait until I know I'm harping on this whole thing of them not telling, but it is I find that a really big deal. If you don't have the balls to do that, are you going to have the balls to say, oh, the fan base wants to draft a quarterback, but I don't think it's the right choice, but I'm going to do it anyway because I'm going to appease the fan base? No, you don't do that type of shit. You do what's right for the longevity of the franchise, even when the fan base doesn't want it. The fan base didn't want J.J. Watt. Guess what? It was one of the best draft picks we've ever picked. You don't just listen to fans all the time. You do what your scouting tells you. You do what your evaluation tells you. And you got to have the balls to stand behind those choices. Don't give it up to an insider to determine when you're telling your fans, the fans that are buying your jerseys that are going to the games and saying, oh, we're not going to even talk about it. We're just going to give it up to someone else to see what's going on. That really pissed me the F off today. Really did.
Yeah. And it should, like I said, no matter what you do, like they can bring Jeff Driscoll as quarterback. It doesn't matter what you do at quarterback position. You're not going to win. Just like you said, 3,000 yards on rushing. It doesn't matter what the offense does. We're going to lose. So change it up. Well, speaking of change it up, let's change it up to Sunday's game against the Dolphins. I got, in one of my dynasty leagues, I got Tyreek Hill and Waddle. I drafted Tyreek Hill when he was in the Chiefs. But they're both projected to go over 50 points against us this week. Like, speak to me, man. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, on fantasy, start Jeff Wilson. I had him, and so I'm going to start him. I'm going to have to start Dameon Pierce, whether I believe he's going to do something or not. I'm always going to start my start. I know I'm talking about fantasy, but I'm going to have to right now. And yes, I'm starting Tyreek Hill. I don't have Waddle. So start your stars because we're giving some stuff on the ground, and Tyreek Hill is always going to get his yards. Now, what's really going to happen at the game, unfortunately, more of the same, frankly. Kyle Allen can throw deep shots, so I think that Pep Hamilton is going to give him more of a chance than Davis Mills. He's gonna allow Kyle Allen to have some deep shots. I think he's gonna have a few interceptions, but he's gonna make some pretty beautiful throws as well. We're gonna see a couple 40. I'm gonna say about 2 like really good deep shots. About everything else, though, the interior line is still gonna suck. Kenyon Green is not going to do any better magically. Neither is Scott Quessenberry. That's still going to be a problem.
And AJ Cann is a liability at passing.
He is. He's just not the worst person there, so I'm just not bringing him up because he's essentially an average right guard. But Kenyon Green has really been horrible these past 4 or 5 games. And I'm not saying bench him because we need him to have reps. This is a perfect year for him to learn.
Yeah,
So
he's a rookie. That is okay. But we got to do something at the center position.
I don't think we will this year. I think we're just sucking it up for the rest of this year. And I think what we'll do is we will, as much as I want to draft, like I like to build through the draft, I think we will go free agency for center. And the reason is because if we draft a quarterback, which I think there's a damn good chance we will, that if we would have looked to the draft to fill that position, well, that player's going to be on a learning curve, just like Kenyon Green. You kind of need to solidify that position right away.
Hey, we talked about Thomas Booker, but you know who I wanted over Thomas Booker, and they picked him, I think, 8 picks after us, was Tyler Linderbaum from the.
Yes.
I wanted him so bad.
I wanted him too, and a lot of the
Texans picked him up. I was like,
a lot of the Texans Twitter fan base was saying that his arms were just not 34 inches, so he couldn't basically play our scheme. And I was like, I don't think that's an issue, and it really hasn't been an issue for him. No. So
yeah, a beast. So prediction wise, what do you think?
So prediction wise, I think the Dolphins are going to have a good, I could say almost 40 points, honestly.
Woo! Okay.
41, 42, and we have 10. Listen, Tua's gone nuts multiple times. If you look against, the lines, basically any team that doesn't have a great defense, he's putting up minimum 30 points. Our defense is crap. So what is he going to put against us? I mean, we're going to get run against us, and we are going to get done against us, frankly.
Well, he's been good except for the 2 games he got hurt, the Bills and I don't know,
and the Bengals game.
Bengals game. Thank you. And maybe 1 or 2 after that. But dude's a Pro Bowler. I mean, like he is balling out this year. Of course, he has weapons, but the dude's a quarterback. So yeah. I agree. Man, I kind of agree with everything you're saying, but I think Pep Hamilton is going to do the same thing he did with Mills in the first half, and that's just stupid vanilla play calls. Let's script call, and let's keep fucking it up. I say Kyle Allen has a interception in the first 3 possessions. One of those possessions, he's going to have an interception because of play calling. Like, I mean, everybody's like, oh, the offensive coordinator can't throw an interception. But no, he can't. You're right. But he can cause. Like, if you continue to keep throwing curl routes there, Pep, people are going to know it. So I think that's going to be a big factor. The Dolphins don't have a great interior defensive line like the Skins do. So I think Pierce is going to have a better game.
Yeah.
But I don't see him coming close to 80 yards. I want to say maybe 72, 70-ish, maybe a touchdown. But I agree with you. The locker room's gone. This team don't want to play for this coaching staff no more, in my opinion. So I'm gonna say 37-10, if that. Like it's gonna be a blowout. This rest of the season is gonna be a blowout. And this is what I would like to see is since the Raiders won on Sunday, I like to see us lose out until we get to Cleveland, somehow beat Cleveland, and then lose out, and then Cleveland loses out. That way we have the first and second pick of the draft. Wouldn't that be fantastic?
That would be ideal, and I freaking hope that happens, man.
I know it's not, but well,
I mean, before we continue, I'll just say this. I know we're not supposed to really talk about the Browns game, but all I'll say is this. Not only will I be there, but I know a ton of people that will be screaming their heart out against Watson as well.
I was there.
Anyone that's listening, come up and message us or whatever if you want to meet up and have a chat, have a drink, whatever. This is a game that I understand Deshaun Watts coming back. The Browns have been a bad team. Obviously, he's a damn good quarterback. But just from the personal side, there is a chance that he is too up in his head and can't perform.
A year and a half of football, not playing football, it's
Almost
going to do.
2
It's going to,
years.
it's going to do something to him. So
Yeah.
he's not going to be. He's not going to be perfect. He's not going to be, in shape. As I said, well, game ready. There you go.
Yeah, he's not going to be game ready. So hopefully they can take some advantage of that.
Right. Well, BT, tomorrow's Thanksgiving, man. So tell me what really quick. What are you thankful for?
What am I thankful for? Well, it may not seem it right now, but I am thankful to be a Houston Texans fan. What? How do I say that?
With a straight face, right?
With a straight face. No, in reality, I still am. I mean, even though the fan base right now is a little bit toxic and so forth, you know what? It's still a good crew to talk to. We always have something to say. Even the people I disagree with, we have good conversations with, and the banter back and forth is something I really look for. Obviously, in reality, not to be a Nick Caserio, just saying there's more important things than football. Yeah, we know that, Nick. But yes, I'm thankful, obviously, that my family's still around. Still got good friends. And the people I'm going to hang out with tomorrow. So there's some good stuff, just outside of football. And with this, I'll say with sports though, damn, we got 4 days of good stuff coming up. We got Thanksgiving football. We got Cowboys versus Giants. And then we got Ohio and Michigan on Saturday. And then
in the World Cup.
And then on Friday, on Friday we have the World Cup, USA, England. And then Sunday, you got all day Sunday football. So, I mean, the next 4 days, if you're a sports fan at all, you will be glued to sports. So it's if you don't like hanging out with your family, you got a reason to not hang out.
Yeah, man. I gotta say the same thing. I'm thankful that I get to watch the Texans. I mean, sometimes it hurts my feelings, and I feel like I'm in an abusive relationship. But I'm thankful for having my family, them being healthy with my girls and everything. But I'm thankful for you, for Crenshaw, and for everybody that lets us do this. Guys, we couldn't do it without you. So we are very thankful for you, for us letting us rant to you guys, because trust us, we need it, So very, very therapeutic. So, but BT, any last words before we kick it off, man?
All I'll say is, hey, I know that everyone's frustrated, but we're going to get through this last part of the season. We're going to have our first overall pick. We don't necessarily know what that pick is going to be, but it's going to be someone that is going to make a big change on the squad. First and hopefully second pick, or at least a fifth. So we've got picks coming up. We've got a lot of changes hopefully coming up in the offseason. So, everyone stay tuned. The Texans, we were not going to be like this forever. So just stay tuned.
Trust the process. Yeah, guys, we're only 5 months away from the draft, so that's the exciting time to be a Texan fan. BT, tell us where we can find you on Reddit and Twitter and whatnot.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter on Brown Chubby Bear. You can find me on Reddit on Chubby Brown Bear. You can join the Texans Fan Battle Reddit if you want. Obviously, I'm on the actual main Texans subreddit. You can see some of the blogs and stuff at TexansFanBattle.com. So go ahead. I put a new article out there. I thought the title was kind of funny. Texans don't hurt me no more. So we, check out that article. I it's hard to kind of be funny sometimes, but I do try. So check that out. And obviously, I'm on Twitter. So DM, chat away. I'd love to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, and Kershaw right now probably a hot air balloon over the pyramid still. But you can check him out at Bits Ward Crenshaw everywhere. And you can find me at A1 Day 1 Texans. Guys, make sure you follow the Texans Fan Battle podcast everywhere on all social media. And wherever you listen to your podcast, you can find us. So make sure you listen to us. It's always a great time to hear about the Texans. And guys, Black Friday is right around the corner. If you need a stocking stuffer, a white elephant gift, something for your third cousin twice removed that you don't like, make sure you check out Manscaped. It's 20% off of everything and free shipping. So save some money get some free shipping. It's the season to do that. Escape.com, promo code FANBATTLE, one word, all capitalized, where you're 20% off and free shipping. Well, B, I hope you get fat and stuff tomorrow. You have a great Thanksgiving. And guys, we'll see y'all next week.
Go Texans.